morning, everybody. It is Saturday. Until I've got a little bit of a cough and cold, whatever it may be, but that's all right. So I am actually headed over to Paxton, Illinois. I am picking up a new passenger side door for this truck. So basically just over time here, I'm slowly collecting new body panels that are 100% rust free. At some point I'll go ahead and have the rockers redone and have these doors repainted, and I'll kind of obviously take some time and redo it all at the same time. But basically, as these doors and different body panels come up for a cheap price or for a fair price and are rust free, I go ahead and snag them if I can, you know. So that's what we're doing this morning. But on the side of that, I just want to give a little bit of a review on the up pipes and manifolds and whether or not they're actually worth doing, you know. Because it is a decent amount of money. You know, this was the cheapest option I had, which was about $500 and some. But there are a lot more expensive options. If you want to do profab or PPE, I think you're going to spend a whole lot more. If you want to go as far as HSP billet manifolds, those will cost you a fortune. Really cool looking, but they'll cost you a fortune. So I just want to talk about those just a little bit, and if there's actually anything to gain from that. The whole point of putting on different manifolds and up pipes is to increase your airflow capability, right, of the actual exhaust ports up to the hot side of the turbo, to be able to move that heat energy as quickly as possible through to the turbo without losing too much heat, without losing too much airflow itself. So by having smoother bends, bigger open areas, you can move more air faster, right? At least that's the thought. And so by doing so, one thing that I have noticed is, and I'll put a little bit of a clip in here I took just a little bit ago, the truck used to run a little over 600 degrees Fahrenheit when just cruising at 75. I'm cruising 76 miles an hour right now. Now it's sitting more like at 550. Obviously that is completely, you know, inconsequential when you're just driving. A difference between 550 and 600 is nothing, because 600 degrees is very, very healthy for it just to be sitting here, you know. But what I would like to think is that if I'm doing a hard pull on the truck, you know, they're drag racing or whether truck pulling, there's going to be a significant difference in the high-end EGTs from what they were compared to what they are now, you know. Hopefully that 50 degrees will be translated into, you know, 200 degrees, whatever it may be. So the difference between, you know, 1400 and 1200 is a lot bigger difference than the difference between 550 and 600. So that's one difference that I'm happy to see. Like I say, I'll have to actually be watching it during a pull to see if it actually makes that difference at some other point. But as of now, that's a good thing. Another thing I seem to have noticed is the truck does actually sound different, and I really like it. I'll have to try to get a clip when I get home of it just kind of idling, but it just seems to have a lot lower rumble. And when you really get on it, it's kind of a deeper tone, you know, than it used to, which is great. I wouldn't have thought that would have happened. I thought that all just came from the exhaust itself. The actual 5-inch exhaust itself. But I think a little bit maybe apparently does come from this. It doesn't seem to scream quite as much. You know, everybody talks about the Duramax scream until you replace your MBR, or, you know, your downpipe with a 3-inch MBRP or whatever it may be. But apparently the exhaust manifolds and up pipes might also come into play with that, because it definitely does seem to be a little bit lower, a little bit throatier, and I like that. So now, as far as actual spool up, that's really hard to quantify. You know, seat of the pants feel, it does feel a little like it does respond faster. You know, if I'm sitting at 45 to 50 degrees or miles per hour and I punch it, this thing lights up immediately and just hits it, and that's awesome. I'm also hitting about 32 psi. Before I was hitting maybe 30, so it does seem to have a little bit more pressure behind it, which is good. So all in all, they seem to be doing what they said they were going to do. Now I will have to get on a dyno, I will have to get to a track, I'll have to get on a sled pulling track to see if there's actually a competition difference. I don't think it'll be super big here, so as far as it was worth the money that I spent, to be continued, right? But as far as now, they seem to be doing really well. I really like them. I think they look cool. I went ahead and got PPE blankets for them. I think I showed them in the video, but I went ahead and got those on. They look really nice. They clean up the area really well, and I'm really happy with it. So anyways, guys, that's where we're at. So there should be some body panel videos coming at some point in the future. I'm not sure when those will be. All right, so just got home. We got the second door here, the one I already had sitting over here. The paint is not perfect. I don't care. Those are just smudges. Those aren't scratches. But they are perfectly rust free. So I've got the driver's side door, got the passenger side door on the front, obviously. So I still need to be able to find the extended cab doors themselves. Those are a little bit harder to find. A, they're just not as common. And B, they tend to rust out along that bottom seam a little bit more pretty easily. So this is what we've got. So I need to find a spot to store these. This one is actually a dark blue. You can't really tell because of the lighting. This one is black, but this one is dark blue. Either way, they were gonna have to get repainted anyways. So if I can find the other doors, we can start getting the stuff painted, get the rockers redone, all of that. But we are moving forward. I also got some new liner for my Matco toolbox over there. Basically, I'm sick of the liners sliding forward every time I shut the door. So we got some new stick-on stuff that ought to be great. So thanks, guys.